All right, guys, we are back at Digital CES 2021. It's a excellent world out here, and this next booth that we're at, I'm actually super excited because I actually saw this when they were on Kickstarter, and now I'm so glad that we actually have a chance to talk to them. So we're here with Hyperlychee, and I'm talking here with Hannan, and you guys are the ones who actually did the Skadu, which is kind of like the all-in-one dishwashing thing. So this is something I like. Especially in my world, I have a dishwasher, but it's actually used to store the dishes and not actually wash the dishes. So I love this. Can you tell everybody at home a little bit about the Skadu and what it actually does?
So Skadu was, invented out of a real necessity and a need that we saw out there. I was visiting my great uncle and aunt, and I saw them, pick up those dirty, nasty sponge scrubbers and clean their kitchen. And that's when I realized that there needs to be a better solution. I started exploring a few options in the market, couldn't find one, so we invented, a really unique way to scrub clean. And so that's the product. It's a handheld electric scrubber that helps you clean efficiently and swiftly, right? And if you see, it has got three pads here. They rotate in opposite directions, right? And that makes it really efficient and fast. And we made like a couple of extra attachments for it, like the bottle brush, and we also have the metal scrubber for different surfaces, because anybody who actually cleans at home knows that there are a million things to clean, and for each of those things you probably need a certain kind of an abrasive.
Love this idea, and I actually didn't know the heads actually rotated different directions for each of them. So
Yeah.
that's kind of an excellent idea. And one of my favorite attachments is that bottle washer, because I do have some glasses that are really long and I can't fit my hand in it. So I know when I'm trying to clean stuff around my house, I have to like grab a chopstick or something and then kind of put the sponge in there and try to get all of it and hope it works out. And where this, I'm like, oh, I can just stick it in and it cleans it out perfectly.
Yeah.
So, and if people are interested, so it's electric. So, does it have a battery built in, or do you have to kind of add your own batteries to it?
So it has a 2000 milliampere hour battery built in, right? And you can charge it at the back. The device is completely waterproof, right? So it's also got, it's a smart device. We use, a really intelligent system to power manage that gives you a longer runtime on the product as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it. So, like, how long does it? How many washes do you can kind of get out of one of charges?
Mm, Ideally, it runs for about 2 hours, on a normal load setting. What I would, it's very difficult for me to say exactly how many washes you would get, because it really depends on what, you know, what is your objective for the day. Like if you're doing a bunch of dishes, something that would take you 15 minutes or half an hour with a normal, a sponge scrubber, with Skadu it would take you 5 to 8 minutes to do the same job, right? Now, if you look at that in terms of the battery life, you're gonna be using it for 4 to 5 days without actually having to charge it.
I love that. Anything that helps me wash the dishes faster is always good because, um, I'm definitely the type of person. I know when people are like, "Oh, when you're cooking and stuff, you should clean as you go." I am definitely not the person for that. So at the end of the night after dinner, I'm like, "Oh dear." So anything that helps clean that. And then for all of the different attachments and stuff, especially with the scrubbers and stuff, um, do you guys have a plan for kind of the replacement pads as they wear out when you're doing your cleanings and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we encourage customers to do is when they buy the unit, we have like these combo packs of 1 year consumables that we call them we call them the mega packs. So what our intention is that when they buy the product, they should have enough consumables that they don't have to look for them for an entire year. But in case they don't do that, then they can always buy them through our website or our mobile application. So we have a mobile app for the device that gives you, in general overview of how the product works, tips and tricks to improve your usage. If you're stressing it out too much, it'll probably tell you. It helps you optimize your battery. But at the same time, it learns from how you're using and in what intensity you're using the product, and then can also suggest when you need to buy your consumables, right, directly straight through the app. So you don't run out of a week without your scrubbing pads, for example.
Oh, I love it. I really love that you have that app and it kind of learns along with it because yeah, I'm definitely the type too when I go shopping, I forget. So having an app remind me that hey, you probably need to order some more or you're getting close for that I kind of love that whole idea with it too. So I mean, I think this is such an excellent product and stuff. And then we kind of mentioned at the beginning of the interview that you actually went through Kickstarter to do this. Could you tell us a little
Yes.
bit about your experience of running a Kickstarter for a brand new product?
So Kickstarter was obviously our first thought when when we were considering to launch this product because most of our team is based here in India. Like we are all engineers based I'm based in Goa in India, right? And it was unlike the hardware startups of the Bay Area, it's not very easy to get funding for especially hardware companies in India. It's not a very common occurrence. So what we knew from the get-go was that we had to first get our product validated and to know from first hand from people if this is something that they would like. So we participated at CES 2020, right? And we got some phenomenal feedback. I think you can see some of the videos on our Indiegogo or Kickstarter page, right? And based on that feedback, we were confident that if we put this on a crowdfunding platform, people would see and believe the vision of cleaning, right, using a tool like Skadu, and find value in it. And so we went on with the path of crowdfunding, and we didn't hire any marketing agency to do so. I think we pretty much did everything ourselves, right, from start to finish, except run ads through an ad partner like Jelop. We did pretty much everything on our own.
Yeah, it's been successful. And I actually wanted to ask you about this too, because I believe you. So it was successful, and I think you're in the process of putting and fulfilling that. But then after you finish that, you guys went to Indiegogo, right, to kind of keep taking orders from there. Uh,
Yes, Indiegogo in demand is pretty, it's a pretty good way to continue taking pre-orders and keep some cash flow in the company, especially because you can tend to run out of funds over the months that you need to, bring your product to life. So it's a good way to keep things rolling.
okay, yeah, because I always like to ask people about that because I know a lot of people think, oh, they have their big project, but then I'm like, no, a lot of these guys they kind of move over to Indiegogo, and that was kind of a natural transition for you to do that, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then so I always like asking this for people who've gone through a full campaign already. Is there any advice you want to give out to people on what to expect when they're thinking of starting their own crowdfunding campaign, or any advice that you're like, oh, make sure you get this before you launch or during the launch or anything like that?
I think there are two things there are many things I would like to advise somebody, but there are two things that I really think stand out before you pick crowdfunding as a way to launch is that if you truly are making something that people want, they will back it and they will buy it, right? So focus on actually getting the product right first, and making something that is not a temporary fad but has longevity in terms of actually growing into a real product company, because a lot of people make very nifty items or very small items that might do very well on Kickstarter just because they are cheap and they slightly have a small design edge. They do great, but when it actually comes to retail or mass market, they fall flat. So the first rule of actually doing your product is that you make something that people want, and then Kickstarter is just a very nice and convenient way to raise those funds for your startup. The second thing I would say is that definitely get your marketing right. Work on your marketing. You don't need an agency to help you, because marketing is not rocket science. It for sure is not. So I think as creators, we sort of tend to get overwhelmed and I've seen this very often. There are a lot of predators out there, going for creators with good ideas. So watch out. Do your homework on the marketing front and focus on that, because telling your story is really important on crowdfunding.
Excellent. I love the advice. And, that was one of the other things that I was kind of glad I was able to talk to you about, because, some of these things you just don't know until you've actually gone through the process. So I love kind of getting input and information like that too. So if people are interested in picking up a Skadu or being able to pre-order it, where should they go and kind of follow you guys along?
So Skadu is available for pre-order on Indiegogo. If you just type SKADU, even on Google search, the first two results will be Kickstarter and Indiegogo, because somehow their SEO is far better than my website. So, so you're gonna definitely see Skadu up there, right? And that's your best bet to go and get one on pre-order if that's something that you're looking for, right? Or wait till it gets to a store near you.
And I like I said, if you guys are dishwashers like me, I highly recommend it because I love everything about this. And like right when I saw, I'm like, ooh, I need to get one of those. So Hannan, thank you so much for talking to us, because I know even in the digital world, CES is crazy and busy. So I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. And like I said, yeah.
So much.
And like I said, guys, make sure you check it out. So this is ktdata.net covering CES 2021, and hopefully we will have more for you guys soon.